My name is Callie Fitzpatrick. This is our special guest here, Gracie. Her full name is Grace Otter, and Otter is named after her late owner. Gracie's here just to look beautiful and give me some support and some companionship. She's actually extremely wise, so she's bringing me some wisdom. I had a student ask me today in class, why is it that we take things so deeply and don't have the skills to leave their stuff at work when we go home? How is it that we go home and not worry about our folks? Well, when I was younger, very young, I had a mentor who said that this, Callie, will be the hardest thing you do on your life's path and in your work. And she meant work in a general way, in a big spiritual way, not just my job, not just my career, but my life's work. And she said the hardest thing for you is not taking everybody home in your heart to the point where it hurts you, Callie. She said that we're supposed to be like a tree, and we reach our arms up to the sky, we gather in that light, we gather in that love, and we let it come through our heart, and we let it go down through our body, through our hands, and out our feet and out our hands, and we root deeply, deeply, deeply into the ground so that we're connected spiritually and we're connected to the earth. For a lot of us, it's a really hard planet to be alive on, to choose to be alive on. So we have to decide that we're going to be here on some level, some very deep level. It's easy to get so off planet and connected way up here in the ether that we lose connection with the reality of the day-to-day stuff, and we're not grounded on the planet, on the earth. And it's really easy to do the opposite and to be so grounded that we forget that we have relationships with everything around us and that we're all connected. And when we're working with people heart to heart, and it's really deep work, it's hard to leave that at the office because we have this spiritual connection, that eternal love, that capital L, the eternal love, not just the individual love, but that eternal love can be misunderstood for romance and sex, and inappropriate boundaries can arise from that. So when we have that feeling, it's a real feeling. We have that energetic spiritual connection with people, and that's our job. And it's their job to love us, but for us to help them keep that love as a capital L, eternal spiritual level, not a personal level where it gets confused with romance and sex. So in order to do that, I try to find a way to let their sacred story come in. I hear it, I wear it in my heart, and then I let it go. I have this idea of having an altar in my office, and I put them on my altar and I give them to God or to the universe or whatever you interpret that as. But I physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually do that so that I don't take it home. One of the ways I do that is to physically have an altar in my office where I put things that are meaningful to me, that help me bring me back to this planet. It might be a favorite rock, it might be anything. I had a client come through one time and said, you know, I'm really afraid I'm going to relapse. And he took out of his backpack and said, I'm going to give this to you. And I said, actually, why don't you give it to God? And so he turned and he saw my altar in my office, and he put that full beer can on my altar and gave that to God. And for that particular day, he did not drink. When we are connected with people, it's important that we not carry their sacred stories as our own and get it in our hearts to the point where it stays there. When I was working as a new little baby counselor through for detox, what I found was that if I came in one day and I did an assessment and I did work, and I was the night counselor, so we got to have some really quiet time in my office to do some heavy-duty work, internal work, that when I heard that sacred story and that pain and that grief and the desire for healing and recovery and a clean and sober life and to have an improved place on this planet for themselves to grow and live, it was really hard to leave that at the office. But something happened, a spiritual gift happened, and I was given that gift of being able to put that on my altar somehow and go home. And when I came back the next day, if the person was still there and we got an opportunity to interact, especially if we had more work to do, I didn't remember their sacred story because it wasn't mine to keep. It was mine to witness and to let go and give it to God, because everybody's on their own healing path. And when I came back and they were not there, I couldn't remember their sacred story. And if I saw them in the community, it's not my job to go up and say something to them. They have the right to keep that sacred and private. They want to come up and talk to me one-on-one. I can't do my work, but I can greet them and say hello. Those are where the boundaries help me not get overwhelmed and drown in somebody else's trauma and somebody else's grief. I put up a medicine shield, I build a bubble of love around me, and I allow the stories to come in through my heart, through my ears, and then onto the altar, and I give it away. And I stay grounded in the ground, and I stay connected to the sky and to my God. Because everybody has their own path, their own God, their own healing path, and their own ability to heal. And that's not for me. That's for me to help somebody with and give them suggestions if they want it, or just listen if they just need somebody to witness it. Thank you.